Welcome to the CISSP Cyber Training Podcast, where we provide you the training and tools you need to pass the CISSP exam the first time. Hi, my name is Sean Gerber, and I'm your host for this action-packed, informative podcast. Join me each week as I provide the information you need to pass the CISSP exam and grow your cybersecurity knowledge. All right, let's get started.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sean Gerber with CISSP Cyber Training, and hope you all are having a beautifully blessed day today. Today is CISSP Question Thursday, and so today we're going to be getting into some CISSP questions focused around the domain that we just had in the podcast, and today is going to be 7.1. So we have some questions are going towards 7.1, and we'll be talking about those. But before we do, one thing is, yes, you can tell I have a cold. Yes, it's a very unfortunate status of events right now, and it's just no fun. But it's all I can say is in the airports now, I will be wearing masks. So if you see me in the airport, you can wave at me behind my mask, and I will wave back at you. Unfortunately, I got this cold when I was heading out to do a consulting gig, and needless to say, it's been about a week and a half. So fun times, but it's almost done, so the life is good, and then I'm getting ready to go back on the road again, so masks are coming out. So before we get started, before that, we're going to talk about the Russian hackers are exploiting Signal-linked devices featuring real-time spying. Now, this is in the Security Week article, and one of the things that I came up was a Signal is used a lot by people, okay? I've used it. There's a lot of people that use Signal within their companies. Now, one of the things that they came up with that they figured out how to abuse this is through scanning malicious QR codes that are embedded within these overall phishing links is what's happening. And because of that, it's basically the result is every message sent to the user is being duplicated to the attacker's device in real time if you click on you scan the QR code that's associated with that. So again, taking a private line from a person who's a great singer, and I love her to death, is haters are going to hate. Scammers are going to scam. Yes, they are. So if you get emails that have got QR codes embedded in them, you may want to consider whether or not you wish to use them or not. Signal's a great tool if you haven't all used it. It's an awesome end-to-end encryption communication tool. Works really, really well, and it's an out-of-band system. It's not your typical WhatsApp or texting capability within Apple. So it's an out-of-band system. Installs apps on your phone, and you can do this Signal encryption from point to point. So it works really, really well. However, like anything else, if you allow the attackers into that cone of silence or the zone of trust, now, the targeted user base typically are politicians, journalists, and folks that are in the military that want to have end-to-end encryption with out-of-band communications, and so that you can understand why that these groups would be after these individuals as well. So it's one of those aspects it's an important part. If you have any of these communication methods and communication tools, you should consider making sure that you don't fall for the scams. One of the bigger implications that comes out of this as well is the threat. It's sort of a threat beyond Signal itself, and it's also went after other messaging applications such as Telegraph and WhatsApp. Or Telegram, I should say, and WhatsApp. So these are actively being targeted by Russian APTs. You need to consider that if you are using Signal, just make sure that you are not clicking on any links and you are not scanning any QR codes with your device unless you know specifically where those QR codes came from. So again, it's an important part of what you're doing. If you're obviously using Signal in many forms and fashions, you're probably a little bit more security conscious. But anybody can get scammed. I've been there, done that. The French got me multiple times accidentally. So, it wasn't accidentally. I actually clicked on the link. But that being said, you just got to be careful. All right, so let's get into today's questions. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is over domain 7.1, and you can go to CISSP Cyber Training and get access to all of my questions, every one of them. They're all there and available for you. I had a really great conversation with one of my students just yesterday, and he gave me some great feedback on some of the questions. Actually found a couple errors in them, which is awesome. I appreciate that. When you start putting questions in, just like everybody knows, you do make mistakes. So he found a couple, and that was awesome. I fixed those, and we're in the process of fixing those right now. So that is super cool. The other cool part about doing the mentorship piece that I have with CISSP Cyber Training, I get to meet a lot of really cool people. And the neat part about all this is the fact that you all are doing some amazing things in security. And the neat part, the even more neat part, more cool part, is the fact that a lot of you are actually utilizing nonprofits and you're giving your skills and utilizing your skills for good, not necessarily evil, which is a great concept, right? We talk about that. Use your skills for good, not for evil, or your powers, I should say, because you do. If you haven't realized this yet, one of the individuals I was talking to just the other day also mentioned this, that he is working with communicating with the board level executives and understanding and trying to communicate these IT vernacular or jargon to what boards need is a really great skill. And having the ability to do that, to be able to communicate to senior leaders about IT security, about IT risk, is a great concept, and it's a great capability if you can do it. And if you can do it, I would highly recommend that you exercise it, because it will also be very lucrative for you in the future. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get into question number 1. A company has experienced a data breach and now is in the process of collecting evidence. What is the first step in the incident response team should take when handling digital evidence? Okay, so keep in mind as you read these questions, don't glob on to the first thing. You also need to think very long about what exactly they're saying. So just, again, read the questions slowly. Don't jump. Don't get ahead of yourself. A, analyze the evidence to identify the attack vector. B, create a forensics copy of the evidence. C, notify law enforcement about the breach. Or D, document the findings in an incident report. Again, what is the first thing, the first step the incident response team should take when handling digital evidence? And that is B, create a forensic copy of the evidence. Okay, again, when you want to create a forensic copy to preserve the original data's integrity, the moment you start messing with the data, the original data, then it can be thrown out and not be admissible in court. And so therefore, it's important that you make a digital copy, set the original off to the side, and only do your searching through the digital copy. Question 2. During an incident investigation, the incident response team discovers a suspicious file on a compromised workstation. What is the investigative technique that they do to analyze the file further? Again, they find an incident response team discovers a suspicious file on a compromised workstation. What technique should they use to analyze the file further? A, heuristic analysis. B, dynamic analysis. C, threat hunting. Or D, static analysis. And the answer is D, static analysis, right? Static analysis involves examining the file's properties, content, and metadata without actually executing it. This actually helps identify any potential malware that might be within this, or a logic bomb, something like that could occur within that file if you start messing or tampering with it. Question 3. After completing an investigation into a security incident, the team needs to report their findings. What critical information should be included in the incident report? So again, after completing an investigation into a security incident, the team needs to report their findings. What critical information should be included in the incident report? A, the timeline of events and actions taken during the investigation. B, personal information about employees involved in the incident. C, detailed technical specifications of all affected systems. Or D, company financial data related to the incident. Again, after completing the investigation, the team needs to report their findings. What critical information should be included in the incident report? And the answer is A, a timeline of events and actions taken during the investigation. The incident report should include the detailed timeline of events and the actions taken during the investigation. And again, it's crucial to understand the incident's context, assessing the response effectiveness, and identifying areas for improvement. All of this information is very important when you're doing any sort of investigation. Now, the one thing to consider is personal information and technical specifications or financial data may not be necessary in this report, but it could be necessary. So you want to consider that during any investigation that you do. Again, don't just because it's personal information, do not automatically just assume, well, it's personal, I can't use it. That may not be the case. You may want to use it. However, you just need to make sure that you have adequate protections in place to protect the information of the people and the data itself. Question 4. A digital forensics team is tasked with investigating a suspected insider threat involving company laptop. Which of the following artifacts should they prioritize in collecting? So you have an insider threat involving a company laptop. A, email archives and calendar entries. C or B, system logs and application logs. C, network traffic data. Or D, all of the above. And I bet you guys know this one. And the answer is D. Right, all of the above. Anytime you're dealing with an insider threat and you have a company laptop especially, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. Anything that deals with insider. Our email archives and calendar entries are an important part. System logs, application logs, and network traffic data all are valuable pieces of information when dealing with an insider threat and an investigation around that person. So again, leave nothing off the table. Question 5, when performing a digital forensics investigation, which of the following tools is specifically designed for analyzing mobile devices? Okay, so you're dealing with digital forensics and you're dealing with mobile devices. So which one is actually it? A, Encase, B, FTK Imager, C, Cellebrite UFED, or D, Wireshark. Now, can any of these devices be used? Yes, but when you're analyzing mobile devices, which one works the best? And that would be C, Cellebrite. Cellebrite is a specialized tool designed for extracting and analyzing data on mobile devices, including smartphones and tablets. It was one of my legal classes that I went through when the individuals was recommending that for any sort of legal activity. The one thing I will say, though, is now that the encryption on a lot of these cell phones, Cellebrite has been having to work really hard to get around those pieces of that capability. So how it works, I don't know specifically. I just know it's used a lot in mobile phone investigations. So something to keep in mind. Okay, question 6. In the context of evidence handling, what is the significance of maintaining a chain of custody? A, it guarantees that all evidence is stored in a secure location. B, it provides documented history of evidence from collection to presentation in court. C, it ensures evidence is analyzed using the most advanced tools. Or D, it allows investigators to bypass legal requirements for evidence presentation. Again, the context of evidence handling, what is the significance of maintaining a chain of custody? And the answer is B. It provides a documented history of evidence from collection to the presentation in court. We've talked about this numerous times on CISSP Cyber Training. Your chain of custody is an important factor. I've been working with legal teams, both in the consulting gig and as when I was working with Coke Industries as their CISO for one of the Coke companies. This was a big factor, right? Chain of custody is an important part. And when you're dealing with an investigation, you really, truly want to have all that collected and how it's handled. Because the last thing you need is if somebody ends up stealing data. Now, this can happen whether a person was an IT individual going after your data or it was just an insider, an individual who was doing fraudulent wire transfers. You want to have a chain of custody around all of the data that you're using within your court or within the presentation. And one of the things you want to deal is if you're dealing with the lawyers, they understand chain of custody, obviously, they're lawyers, but they may not totally understand it when you're dealing with IT systems. So you're going to have to be the seeing eye dog that's going to have to help them through this entire process. Question 7. A cybersecurity analyst is tasked with identifying root cause of a recent malware outbreak in an organization. Which investigative technique is the most effective for this purpose? A, social engineering testing. B, threat modeling. C, root cause analysis. Or D, vulnerability scanning. Okay, which investigative technique is the most effective when you're looking for RCA or root cause analysis? And the answer is C. Right. Sorry, I gave the answer ahead of the question. Now, there's root cause, right? So if you're dealing with root cause, the answer is C, root cause analysis, RCA. So RCA is a systematic approach for identifying the fundamental cause of the problem or incident. Again, the answer was C. In this case, again, it helps you understand the malware outbreak. How did it happen? How did it affect the organization? RCA is an important factor in anything you do when it comes to dealing with after-the-fact incidents, whether it's dealing with a malware investigation or an insider threat. You want to understand how they got to this point. Did an insider investigation a few years back and come to find out the data was leaving the organization. We couldn't figure out why. Come to find out that the individual was connecting their phone via Bluetooth to their computer, and then they were able to, or should say, connecting their computer to their phone via Bluetooth and then migrating the data out that way. So one of the things we did is we did a root cause analysis and realized, oh yeah, look at that. That's not good. So needless to say, after that, we quickly shut everything else down. Question 8, which of the following is a critical consideration when documenting the evidence collected during an investigation? Again, which of the following is a critical consideration when documenting the evidence collected during an investigation? A, maintaining objectivity and avoiding assumptions. B, using complex technical jargon to ensure clarity. C, including personal opinions about the incident. And D, using informal language for better readability. Okay, again, what do you want to do in documenting the evidence with collecting it during an investigation? What is a critical consideration? A, maintaining objectivity and avoiding assumptions. Okay, making an assumption makes a blank out of you and me, right? Don't avoid or don't assume anything, right? You may understand this information, but assuming it can get you into challenges. So document the objective as fact-based. Avoiding assumptions or personal opinions is an important part. And again, it ensures the integrity of the documentation, making it reliable, and allows for further investigation or legal proceedings. Again, we want to make sure that you pull the assumptions out of it. Now, you might be right. You might be right 99.99% of the time, but that 0.01% or 0.1%, you could cause things to go off the rails, and it would end up making your case fall apart because you made assumptions. Question 9. During an investigation, an analyst uncovers evidence of unauthorized access to a server. Oh no, pray tell. What is the best initial response to mitigate the risk further for unauthorized access? Okay, so during an investigation, analyst uncovers unauthorized access to a server. What is the best initial response to mitigate the risk of further unauthorized access? A, immediately disconnect the server from the network. B, change all user passwords associated with the server. C, conduct a full system reboot. Or D, notify all employees about the breach. Okay, you guys probably can figure out at least the last one you probably definitely wouldn't do, right? But the answer is A, immediately disconnect the server from the network. So disconnecting the compromised server from the network is an important critical part in this overall process. That being said, you may or may not want to do that depending upon the situation. So say, for instance, there's somebody that's accessing that server and you want to get a little more information about it. You may leave it out there and open. Again, that is a legal decision, and that is not your decision as the IT person. So you need to talk to legal, senior leadership before you do anything like that. So again, I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV, but I do not recommend that you go and do this on your own. That would be a really bad idea. You need to make sure that if you are going to leave a computer out there like a honeypot, that you have legal, senior leadership, everybody up the flagpole is involved in this discussion and in this decision. Because if you try to do this on your own, you will be left hanging out to dry. You will be walking the gangplank. There'll be a bunch of pirates behind you with knives, watching you walk off the plank into your demise. So I hope I made that colorful enough. Question 10. What is the purpose of using digital forensics tools during your investigation? A, automate the incident response process. B, collect and preserve and analyze digital evidence systematically. C, to replace the need for human investigators. Or D, enhance the overall security posture of an organization. Again, what is the purpose of using digital forensics tools during an investigation? And the answer is B, to collect, preserve, and analyze digital evidence systematically. That's the goal, right? Preserving it and analyzing the digital evidence from the various sources that are out there and making sure that they are handled in a correct fashion. Question 11. An organization is conducting a post-incident review after a security breach. What would be the primary focus of this review? Again, they're a post-incident review after a breach. What would be the primary focus of this review? A, evaluate employees' performance during an incident. B, determine the financial impact of the breach. C, identify vulnerabilities that were exploited during the breach. Or D, assessing the adequacy of the organization's physical security controls. So again, their post-incident review. What would be the primary focus of this review? C, identifying vulnerabilities that were exploited during the breach. So again, if you know there are vulnerabilities that were exploited and the bad guys got in because of that, you would want to understand how did they do this. Again, a root cause analysis action report would be good. So you want to look at this from how it affects your organization, improves the defenses, and your incident response process. Again, you have to go back over these things. When I was flying airplanes, we would have a pre-brief and a post-brief. You would go drop the bombs, you come back and evaluate how you did. And then all the people in the room would tell you how you stink and you're no good. That's just kind of that hazing thing that occurred. It's that bravado stuff. Yeah, you go in, yeah, I'm pretty cool. You drop your bombs, and then they come back and they just totally lambaste you and tell you that you suck. Yes, that was not fun, but it was good. It was good learning opportunities. Question 12. You can tell I've got PTSD over that. Question 12. An incident response team is analyzing network traffic logs to detect anomalous activity. Which of the following techniques is the most appropriate for identifying patterns of malicious behavior? So an incident response team is analyzing network traffic logs to detect anomalous activity. Which of the following is the most appropriate for identifying patterns of malicious behavior? A, signature-based detection. B, heuristic analysis. C, risk assessments. Or D, anomaly-based detection. And the answer is D, anomaly-based detection. Anomaly-based detection involves analyzing network traffic, for deviations from normal network behaviors. This technique is effective in identifying potential malicious activity that may not match known signatures. That's a lot of words, especially when you have a cold. You just want to look for any anomalies that are in anything that's not right that's going on in your network. That's anomaly-based detection. A big $10 word to say looking for things that aren't right. But there's more words there. But anyway, anomaly-based detection. You want to make sure you look for it. Question 13. What role do artifacts play in digital forensics investigations? A, they provide context and insight into user actions and system events. B, they serve as evidence of compliance and security policies. C, they are used solely for legal documentation. And D, they have no significant value in any sort of investigation whatsoever. Again, that is an artifact in a digital forensics investigation. They provide A, context and insight into user actions and system events. They're an important part. These include logs, files, configurations, you name it. They could be pictures. They could be all kinds of things that they are part of an overall investigation. These artifacts help investigators understand what occurred during the incident. They also give them an idea of how much data was potentially uploaded, not uploaded, all of those different aspects. So artifacts are an important part. Question 14. Which of the following is an essential component for effective reporting during digital forensics investigations? So which of the following is an essential component of effective reporting during digital forensics investigations? A, technical jargon to impress the stakeholders. Yes, I'm very cool. I use $10 words and I use quantification and every other thing that you could possibly think of. That is a big word. B, clarity and conciseness. C, personal opinions about the investigation, or D, avoiding details to maintain confidentiality. So which of the following is an essential component of effective reporting during digital forensics investigations? The answer is B, clarity and conciseness to ensure understanding. I despise going into meetings when people will use these big words like quantification, sanctification. Well, that's actually a Christian term. It's a big word. But anyway, quantification. Yeah, that's a big one. I know that one. And they use these big, oh my gosh, bespoke. Somebody used a bespoke on me the other day. I was like, what in the world is that? So again, my third grade education struggles with big words. Well, guess what? Everybody else does too. Yeah, they may understand the word, the bespoke word. And I had to actually Google that. That means like different things. Not like different things. It means like you're going after different things, like a spoke on a tire, I guess. But that being said, clarity and conciseness is key to understanding what you're doing. So don't be that guy or gal that is in the room talking in big $10 words and everybody's going, oh, you're so smart. You're such a brilliant person. They might be thinking that, and that's probably true. However, there is the guy in the corner like me that's sitting in the corner that may have a lot of pull within the organization and may go, I have no clue what you're talking about. And if I don't know what you're talking about, maybe I don't trust you. So again, clarity and conciseness is an important factor. Okay, now we're going to have the last question. The last melon. Question 15. In a cybersecurity incident, which document outlines the specific actions that an incident response team must take to manage the incident effectively? That's a really long run-on sentence. Okay, in the cybersecurity incident, which document outlines the specific actions that an incident response team must take to manage the incident effectively? A, incident response plan. B, disaster recovery plan. C, business continuity plan. Or D, vulnerability management policy. Again, which of these documents outlines specific actions that the incident response team must take to manage the incident effectively? If you don't know, you can throw a policy out because guess what? 3 of the 4 look alike. Right? But when it comes right down to how to deal with incident response, it would be A, an incident response plan. It helps you take and manage the incident effectively. So IRPs, again, they outline specific actions of the incident response team is going to take to manage the incident, provide a structured approach to detecting, responding to, and recovering from security incidents, and ensures that all team members understand their roles and responsibilities. So again, it's an important part of all of this is that incident response plan. Okay, so I hope that you guys got a lot out of this today. If you have any questions, just ping me. You can reach out to me at CISSP Cyber Training, and I'm happy to reach out. There's a contact at CISSP Cyber Training. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Also, keep in mind, you can go to CISSP Cyber Training and get access to all my content. It is out there and available for you. My videos are out there. I post those on my blog, so those are available as well. I'm a little bit behind on some of those. I kind of go do those in spurts. I don't get to them as fast as I could, but the videos are out there as well. So all the stuff you see that you're hearing on the podcast is in video format for the most part, out there at CISSP Cyber Training. If you are looking for a consultant, you can go to CISSP, or you can go to reducecyberrisk.com, or you can go to I'm partnering with a group called NextPeak, and you can go to nextpeak.net, and we got all kinds of great stuff that we're dealing with for financial institutions, manufacturing institutions, or organizations as well. So a lot of great stuff out there to help you with your cybersecurity capabilities at CISSP Cyber Training, reducecyberrisk.com, or nextpeak.net. Okay, hope you all have a beautifully wonderful day, and we will catch you all on the flip side. See ya. Hey, thanks again for listening today. It's been my pleasure to prep you for the CISSP exam. Are you interested, though, in some free CISSP exam questions? Head on over to freecisspquestions.com and sign up to join my email list, and you'll receive access for 60 free CISSP questions each and every month for the next 6 months. That's a total of 360 questions just for signing up with CISSP Cyber Training. You'll also gain access to other free CISSP resources, so just head on over to freecisspquestions.com and sign up, or head on over to CISSPcybertraining.com and sign up today. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you on the flip side. See ya.